Hey, audio listener. Welcome to the AV Epochs podcast, an Avenue Studios production. Check out our Patreon and Locals community for exclusive content, access to our private Discord, and so much more. And don't forget to review our podcast to help spread the word. And now, let's dive into the adventure. Hey everybody, it's my pleasure to introduce this long overdue one-shot, A Circus Adventure, starring Great Moustache as the Game Master, and Austin and Katie and Zech and Mary as the players. This is the story as told by Peter and Ulysses T. LaHaye in their letters home. What is truth? What is fiction? And what is gentle elaboration must be left up to you to decide, dear listener. Let's dive in to part one of A Circus Adventure.
All right, so the premise here is there's this crazy gnome that has set a flame under the feet of some people to get a circus idea started. Now, some of you have maybe worked in circuses before, and you've been pulled in. You've been bought out. You've been headhunted to join this new endeavor that's quite promising. It sounds thrilling. Looks like there's some big names. There's rumors that maybe this Riker Thorne's going to do a performance for them with like a whole like quartet on their shoulder or something. It's something that this Thierry person had said. And so you're just now forming up. You've kind of met each other, gotten to do a few things, and maybe you knew each other from another group you were kind of doing performances with, but not on the grand scale that this Thierry has been speaking about for the circus. So you've all come together with that in mind, and there's a group of like 10 to 12, maybe a dozen of you that they found out that there's these ruins called the Duskfin Stronghold that has this item. You don't have the details of what the item is, but there's an item that they're wanting to retrieve to use as a centerpiece for one of the shows at the circus. And so there's some help that's probably going to be needed, and that's why, maybe there's just some digging that's going to be needed.
Yes.
And just to help out, you guys have been pulled in as part of this group of 12 to be traveling. So that's the general premise that we're starting with to give you ideas of how you know each other. So you might have known each other from a previous smaller like little street corner show, or maybe like a traveling animal thing or what have you. And that whole thing has been bought and is now part of the Thierry concept. Does it have an official name for Thierry's?
It would like probably something like Thierry's terrific traveling essential troupe of terrific tropes.
So the
troupe of tropes.
People have like shortened it to just call it the dozen teas, because of how many different tea things are in it, right? So, but so that might give you a little bit more idea
by the tea dozen.
How familiar you are with each other.
I feel, so what's everybody's age? I feel like I'm late middle-aged, and my backstory is that I used to run with a worse type of crowd, and then after a few bad jobs, I escaped to the circus because that's safer. And I didn't want to be with those people anymore. And now I shovel the poop, and I know everybody, and I know everything, and if you need me to fix it, I can. But if you want me to fight, I'll just stand by. Because too many bad memories, too many old ghosts. My name's Willamay, and I'm a sea elf, and I've got a harness on my back that holds my shovel. I've got a fanny pack full of treats for any animals we encounter. And I've got a multi-tool, because I can fix it. And I feel like I know all of you, like, well. Like, I'm the one that, like, is sweeping while you're having a bad day, and I give you the bar talk, right? I'm like a bartender of the circus, and...
I'm perfectly happy with that.
Yeah. Should you see a cart full of poop anywhere in a Avicen, you're welcome.
For those of you Bomb Squad listeners, there are several instances of recent episodes in which a poop cart was involved. Yes, Willa created those.
Just my little mark on the community.
So, Austin, why don't you tell us briefly about your character and maybe how they know the other characters?
My name's Tats, and I was discovered as a street performer by Miss Willa here. I have tattoos all over my body, and through certain untelling situations, I have the ability to make them come to life, and therefore
He's not
perform with
joking.
me.
I've seen it.
And therefore, they perform with me and for me, and I've done quite well for myself. But I've heard from Willa that this teary gnome lady thing apparently has some excellent propositions for me. So here I am doing meaningless tasks just to be able to make sure that I have food and shelter tomorrow. So that's where I am.
All right, and Mary, what is your character? I haven't gotten your character's name yet. Do we know
My
name?
character's name is Julie,
Julie.
and I am a street performer. I have been just getting by performing and trying to better my ability at contortionism. Yeah, that's about what I've got so far with her.
Very cool. All right, and then we've got Peter over here.
Hi, I'm Peter.
Peter?
Peter. You might have known my mom.
Yay!
Yeah. So I just figured, I was gonna run away, join the circus, and I brought a friend. His name's Ulysses.
Wait a minute.
Hi.
Peter, what's your last name?
Taylor.
I knew it. You're not getting any special treatment from me just because you're the boss's son.
Yes.
Fine.
It's not like I got special treatment at home, but basically I grew up at the circus, and so I just came to join a civil one.
All right, so yeah, you guys have been traveling for maybe two days, and you had woken up. The sun was high, and the four of you, for whatever reason, were maybe commiserating or talking, or you had something to get together, and then this fog seemed to roll out of nowhere and just kind of envelop you, and you kind of, it's so thick you can't see in front of you, right? But you could just barely see your own shapes, and so maybe for some of you that caused you to cluster together a little bit more as you're traveling, and you're not able to find these people. Now, I had our lovely players roll a d6 that explodes for me, and so that was to determine something. So as you guys were traveling through this fog, you suddenly heard this roar of a cat, like a hunting cat, not a domestic cat, but a wild cat, just roared out for you. And maybe Dan will add that roar in for us post credit there, or not post credit, but post. So there's this loud roar, and then suddenly there's this blazing of black next to you guys, and there's some swipes and bumps and cuts. And so since Tats rolled amazingly with a 16, he gets to take 8 points of damage to start out with.
That's fine.
Yes.
3 of which is lethal damage.
Ooh.
Okay. And then next up, Julie, you rolled a 9, so you come in second. So as this black streak whips by you, the tail like catches around your throat and tugs you a little bit, and you get thrown. So you take a total of 5 damage already on this. Again, 3 of it being lethal. Okay.
Sorry, how much damage do I get?
You were 8
With 3 lethal.
with 3 lethal.
8. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, 8 with 3 lethal. You were, what did I just say?
5 damage.
5 with 3 lethal. Okay.
So it's just 5 to mark down lost here, or is it
It's 5 total damage.
5 total damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that means your maximum HP is basically reduced by 3 for the moment with that lethal. And then Peter...
I'm riding on top of Ulysses' shoulders.
Right. So in this case, which I need to write that down.
Is Ulysses a giant? Or is he
Ulysses
just
is
quite large?
Is a big troll.
He's a mountain troll.
And you are a gnome.
Yes. So I'm this little bump on his shoulder here. I don't come up much above his head.
Yeah, so in this case, Ulysses gets hit in the back of the knees and he falls. So both of you are currently prone on the ground.
Okay.
Okay. And then Willa, you managed to go unscathed with your 2. So you see all this happen, and maybe it's your preternatural sense of animals or something.
Blind sight.
And you're just able to shift a little bit out of the way so that you're not hit. So you all are in the middle of combat with what maybe some wild black cat, which doesn't make sense with where you were traveling through. There shouldn't be these wild cats in. But go ahead and roll your initiative for me. So that's your agility. If you have swift weapons, you get advantage 2, right? So if you have something that you can pull out real quick as a weapon, you might have advantage 2 on that roll.
16 for Willa.
14 for Tats.
14 for Tats.
And we're on the road. Or were
You were
sailing?
on the road.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not sure where you are right now
Okay,
because of
okay,
the fog.
'cause the
Like, it's
fog.
hard to even see the ground. It feels like the ground too has also shifted a little bit. Is a little bit different. It was maybe you were going through a little bit more of grasslands or something like that
Okay.
at the time, which is why you're surprised for a panther to be here, right? As you're going. So what do we get for Peter? Now does Ulysses is your companion? Is that
Yep.
the feat? So you would roll them separately.
Okay. So Peter has a 21.
Okay.
And then Ulysses has a 2.
A 2. All right.
Sounds right.
Okay. And what was
11.
11? Okay.
11.
I have 2d10.
All right. So the way that I'm running initiative is there was a CR of 15 for the Panther. If you got above 15, which is Peter and Willa, you guys act before. You can choose which one of you acts first if you want to, whatever. But you 2 are before the Panther goes, and then the other 3, Tats, Julie, and Ulysses goes. So you can strategically say I'm going first if you want to, right? For that. So this has all happened right now. Both Peter and Ulysses, you are prone on the ground. The rest of you, we're just kind of using theater of the mind. I can maybe pull out a map if you need some help. But basically, you're kind of in this close space. Right now, you're not sure where the Panther is. It ran through. You're still in this fog, so it's very hard to see. You can see clearly 5 feet around you, right? Beyond that, you can see shadows, right? And the only shadows you see are each other right now, not the Panther. So you're not sure where the Panther is. But yeah, it's Peter and Willa. You 2 are up.
So since I was standing and I didn't get hit, can I go first?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Peter's just gonna, his high initiative is gonna be like, whoa.
Yeah, he's just gonna sit up. So she's gonna be like, what in the, okay, all right. So she's gonna take a treat out of her bag.
Okay.
And she can see a little bit farther because she's blind sight. Does that
have to
do
roll
something?
for it.
I have to roll
Yeah,
for it?
you'll have to activate that. Now,
Okay, no, I'm not gonna
since
do
you've
it.
been going through the fog for a little bit now,
My eyes are
you
adjusting.
might have chosen to go ahead and do that, but go ahead and roll for it. It won't
Okay.
be your major action right now. Let's
So that's
proactively.
alteration, D10.
And a lot of times I wouldn't require you to roll for a boon like that, but since it's a stressful situation.
Yeah.
You get 2 D10s.
Yep.
Okay.
No. Okay. 18, 27, 29, 33.
Okay, 33. So yeah, you get it up, no problem. You only needed a 20 for blind sight.
Nice.
So yeah, you can see through the fog much clearer. We'll say you can see up to 30 feet really well and up to 60 feet-ish. But so you can see the tiger. It's a
Panther.
black panther. It's very. You don't know if it's because of the blind sight and the fog, but it seems a little bit weird, almost like it's fuzzy.
Okay.
And it is roughly 25 feet away from you. You're the last one it passed by. So if you guys were in a rough square while you were walking, right, it's off the corner, the square that you're at. Right?
Okay.
So it's about 25 feet off from you.
So I think I'm not going to move yet. because everybody's kind of like hit the decks around me. So I'm gonna just take this treat out, and I'm just gonna go. And I'm just gonna try and get it.
What are you doing?
We don't know anything about this thing. It might be friendly.
Yep, might be friendly. Oh wait, my leg is bleeding. Yep, it's friendly. Yep, absolutely.
my
No, bring it closer. Do you have 2
Tats!
treats?
Can you just turn on a tattoo or something? Hush!
You know that's not how it works.
No, wait,
She's-
guys, it's like a shadow panther. We gotta catch it. Arvid is gonna need it. We'll put a little costume on it.
So
I'd say I'm like with a circus troupe, but that's too literal. Bunch of fools.
So I would like to walk towards the panther.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and see if I can connect with it somehow, or like show that we're friendly.
It sounds like to me that'd probably be a presence roll. You're trying to let your natural presence with animals kind of help affect this. You could do a persuasion roll too. It'd be different CRs and stuff like that.
No, I'll take
of
the presence for
difficulty.
sure.
Different outcomes. But yeah, so you're using one of your treats. I'll say that's advantage 1 to the roll.
Yes.
Okay.
And so this is my major action.
Yes. So you're moving closer.
Yeah,
Do
'cause
you
I
wanna
also wanna-
move because you have enough movement to get right to it.
I'm gonna go halfway.
Halfway,
Because
okay.
I'm not an idiot. Right, Tats?
Well, I mean, depends on who you ask.
No comment.
Maybe I won't heal you. Maybe I'll choose to heal somebody else.
All right, I got my own ways.
D20, explode. Now, math. Sorry. Advantage.
The bane of all players.
Okay. But I'm taking this one away.
Yes.
Yeah. No, the highest.
You take away
The lowest. Sorry. All right, 26. What is... Oh, my goodness. 42.
42. All right. So, I mean, it was a pretty high DC for an animal that thought it just found a meal. A very, very large meal of 5. But that's a really high roll. So,
Yes!
like, you could see, because you've been around animals, it was cold, it was ready to spring, but it kind of softens just a little bit, not completely. It's hesitant, and it kind of does that thing that cats will sometimes do and kind of looks like it's uninterested and just kind of licks and then kind of walks up a little closer and then just kind of like is looking around, cleans its face a little bit and then kind of comes up and just like without its claws out, it like slaps your hand to knock the food down, right? And then it kind of like gets the food and then hops back a little bit and is snacking on it. So did you want to do anything else with Peter besides get up?
I was going to say, okay, Peter, get over here. Come on.
Yeah, I got.
And
I've
wait,
got
can I
just
go
the
back
thing.
and heal somebody too?
No, not yet.
No? Okay.
Well, you
sorry.
with a minor action
Oh,
because
minor,
it's your
I guess.
voice,
Yeah.
right? That can you're
So can I actually, in my argument with Tats,
Sure.
have healed him,
Sure.
even though I screamed at him that I wouldn't heal him?
yeah. So roll
Yeah.
your attribute for healing. Just use the attribute dice because you auto succeed, so you get the highest you can do. So what's your score for your heal ability? What's it tied to?
2d6 to heal. It's probably then to my presence.
No,
No.
so you're using.
Right.
So.
Targets 2d6 to heal.
Right. So she. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're rolling. No. Sorry. You just rolled.
Just the
D6.
d6s.
Yeah, you don't need
What,
to roll
I don't
the
need a
D20 'cause
D20
you
also?
have boon focus, so you auto succeed, right?
Ooh! 11.
Well,
oh my goodness.
You're up to full.
Except for my lethal.
Except for your lethal, yeah.
Somewhere around 25.
So wait, your total heal roll was 25?
Wait, 11 and 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Sorry.
21. Okay, I'll say because that was a crazy explosion for healing, it recovers one of your lethals.
Hey!
Okay, so you're a little bit higher, so you see some of that like torn muscle underneath from the cut.
Yep.
Kind of comes back, and there's a little less pain and throbbing.
You're
in that
welcome.
leg. So yeah, the panther does not choose to do some nasty stuff to you for now. So so Peter, what are you doing?
I'm gonna pull around. I've got just the thing to help. We can catch them. I think I've got like a rope or a collar or a. He pulls out a top hat. Who's this?
I think this is a little premature. We should wait till we get back into the tent for this.
Oh no, this is perfect. He'll just put the top hat on.
Himself. Yeah.
And it's probably a little too big, and so it comes down over his eyes, so he can't quite see right now.
Okay. All right. Who else has some food? Ulysses? Anything?
And so
Julie.
right now it is Tats, Julie, and Ulysses.
Okay.
Can go.
Ulysses looks for food and takes a little nibble on the end of his club. No food. Ulysses hungry. He's gonna kind of lumber up for his action. Slowly, to not spook the little cat thing.
Yeah, the cat is like, I mean, compared to Ulysses, because he's a large creature, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's not as tall as Ulysses, but this is like a 800-pound cat.
Yeah.
So it is not a tiny panther. This is a highly muscled,
A biggin.
Yeah.
larger than normal panther. And actually, I'll mention a few more things. Now that it's closer, with you can see it very clearly now that it's like within 5-10 feet of you. Yeah, it is massive, right?
Yeah.
Because like I said, 800 pounds of
huge.
pretty much mostly muscle. It actually has 6 legs. Right, so it's a little bit longer than normal. It's got these extra ones. It's got 5 tails.
It's a Totoro panther.
And yeah, it's got some sharp fangs. You notice like you think it's just fur at first, but then you see some of the things that are like along the spine almost look like they're spikes that can come up on its back.
Peter, if you had any dreams of riding this thing, I'd put those to rest.
Wow.
You're just in love with it. A little help, Tats.
Slowly recovering here. Thank you very much. Well, we don't want it moving, do we? I'd rather not get swiped from behind, coward. All right, fine.
It when you say coward, it gives a little like cat growl towards you, like almost as if it responds to your words.
Yep.
And then it finishes munching on the thing that whatever little treat, and it's kind of looking back at Willa a little bit.
All right, I'm gonna do immobile for it.
Okay. And remember, for you guys, it's unless you get closer, right?
Right.
So for you guys, it's probably about 20 feet away right now.
All right.
Because she moved 15 away from you guys. So yeah, you can only kind of see a shadow. So you probably don't know those details about the extra legs and
Right.
the tails yet,
Right.
And until you were if you got closer or something.
Well, I'm gonna. So as I'm walking forward, minor action would be to draw the swords
Okay.
from my back. So all of a sudden, you just if you're close. Well, I guess you guys can't see me. So I'm gonna show up, and you have no idea where these swords came from because all I'm wearing is pants. So just saying. So
Peter doesn't question it.
Peter doesn't question it. That's fine. But if you did, we're able to see it, and I'm sure it'll happen again. All of a sudden, the smoke starts rising from my back, and I just reach behind me, and I just pull out these 2 gladius type swords from my back. Slight curves to them. So it's this mixture between like a scimitar and a gladius. So I'm gonna walk towards and just in a my own stalking type motion towards it, and right up next to Willa, and just I'm gonna be staring at it, very very Riddick style, right? I'm
Kind of moving the head a little
kind
bit.
of moving the head a little bit, and I just want to be able to. All of a sudden, there's these 2 eyes. When I close my eyelids, there's eyeballs that are tattooed on top of my eyelids, and the smoke starts emanating from them, and they're going to start glowing, and I'm going to try immobilizing the
So it can't move.
thing, so it can't move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that we can have a little bit more freedom to just be able to talk a moment.
So the nature of this is this like with the eyes making contact. So it's more of a mind effect, or is it like the smoke is like going out and trying to hold them in place? Like what's the?
Oh, very
Because
interesting.
I'm trying to see what defense you're going to attack.
Gotcha.
Because normally it would be like probably a guard or toughness thing, but if the
Usually.
flavor of it is, I could see resolve.
The flavor would probably resolve. Technically, it's usually a toughness thing.
Right, yeah.
And so maybe it's a toughness in terms of the smoke comes from the eyeballs and locks in, so it's
Okay.
holding the eyeballs.
Okay.
So like we're locked eyes.
Beep.
And so maybe I can't move away. Maybe there's like this
Yeah.
temporary immobile on myself as well, but at least just for a moment. But I think being able to have the smoke in the eyes.
It's a little more long distance grapple, basically. So you're both kind of.
A little bit.
sure.
I still with the ability to be able to move if I need to.
Yeah. And you're just
Okay.
keeping about 15 feet away? You probably need to be 10 feet away to be.
I was
see
gonna
it
do
more
20 because I'm
clearly.
right up next to her.
Okay.
So I'm the 20 away from
Whoa, so she's like 10 feet away from it right now.
right. So I'm just coming up right beside her.
Yeah.
So I'm 10 feet away.
And
from
that's when
it.
you start to see some of the more details. Not
Right.
as well as she can. 'cause
I'm not
of blind
focusing
sight.
on the details.
Yeah.
I'm focusing on
Okay.
the eyes. I'm a predator. It's a predator. I want to
Yeah.
be able to. If I know where its eyes are, then I know where it's going. So that's my focus.
Okay, go ahead and roll for
All right. Cool.
that. So what Willa notices while this is happening is you can see the eyes more clearly of this panther. It is like it's almost hard to see where the eyes are because it's pure black. Everything's black except for a dot right in the middle, which is a little bit bigger right now. So that's the actual pupil is a swirling midnight blue. So it almost looks black at first, but you know when you're looking at it, you can tell that it's a slightly different color from the black. It's this midnight blue color to the pupils, but they're swirling.
Okay.
It's kind of almost like a whirlpool.
Yeah. Be careful, Tats. This doesn't look like an ordinary animal.
48.
48.
Of course.
That is not enough to defeat the no.
Starting off with a level 12 animal.
You know.
At this point, Ryan
It's got a
Stacy is
50
somewhere
it's got a
cursing
50,
Austin
yeah.
for rolling a 48 on his first one.
Immobile is a bane focus for me, so I have
Right.
additional advantage to it.
Yes.
So it allows
Yeah,
me-
so
You would
reach
roll higher
out,
than me.
And you definitely in this connection, you almost feel like there's this very powerful ability of this creature to fear others. Like it can just naturally make others be afraid of it.
Oh, okay,
Just-
cool.
It's not trying to do that to you, but
Yeah.
you just because you rolled so
It's
high.
Yep, I can sense that.
The nature of this creature is that it can
Cause
terrify
fear in
things.
others. Sure.
And if it does that, it can take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
When they try and run away from it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'll give you that for that high roll.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right, so you guys just watched Tats, kind of watched. I mean, you see him walk up. Because did you say anything about what you were doing to it? You just did it, right?
No, because I'm focused on it, and
So yeah,
maybe
you ca-
maybe to Willa, it's a try not to move.
Okay. So you said Ulysses just stood up. Did Julie want to do anything?
She would take out her shivs,
Okay.
and I think that based off of not being able to see much, she would maybe cautiously move forward in the same direction as the rest of the crew. But
Okay. Did you want to get up like next to these two that are the closest to it? Because they're 10 feet away from the panther right now.
10 feet away from yeah, that seems like a good distance to me. I don't.
This
I'm just
giant animal.
just
Yeah.
waiting, just like not.
You would, especially you, because sounds like you got more experience fighting things.
Right.
This thing probably has really good reach.
Yep. Oh yeah.
because of
if
how
it's,
large it
if it's
is.
already huge, yeah. So 10 feet's not gonna.
So
be,
it can probably already reach out at 10 feet.
Right.
But it does seem like, I mean, it's tense, it's ready to spring, but it's not that same like I'm now hunting you. It's not
Right.
quite hunting you right now.
right.
Is the sense that you would definitely get from that. Okay, so yeah, Willa and Peter, you guys are kind of back up now. Initiative order, we're still kind of in it, even though there's not violence happening right now. There is an immobile that's kind of happened. But yeah, so if you wanted to attempt to do something.
Yeah, Peter's gonna run up to Willow and actually, well, I guess kind of like right after Julie, and be like, "Okay, guys, we can do this. He's staring him down. We catch the beast. I think I found my act. So,
Weren't
Get up-
we
get up-
supposed
get
to
up there.
find an item? I seriously
Tats,
doubt
listen.
this is it.
Tats, either we leave this beast here to be hunted again down the road,
Yep, that's the plan.
or we keep this beast and it's part of our act. It's a great idea.
I'm with him. I
I'd like
think we need to
roll
get out of
a
here.
Learning on the
Okay.
Ulysses,
See what you know about it.
tiebreaker. Ulysses, what do you think?
kitty.
Are you doing your lucky?
12.
12. So you're trying to see if Peter knows anything about this creature or anything about like creatures in general.
About what this creature is. What are their tales and legends, songs and myths?
I think this one's maybe something you haven't heard. I mean, 12's not horrible, but this might be a more primal creature, maybe.
Okay.
It might possess human level intelligence, or I guess I shouldn't say human. It might contain
Sentience.
sentience, yeah. Possibly even language capabilities. Sometimes creatures like this could potentially do that. Especially since you've gotten closer and you can see it's like got 6 legs and 5 tails. That's definitely something that's a little bit weird about it. So
Okay.
that's what I'll give you with the 12.
Maybe you should say hi.
All right, Tats, keep it immobilized. I feel like Willow would have a rope.
Okay.
So she's got a rope. She's going to fashion a very makeshift kind of harness. And, all right.
I
here
can't
we
believe
go.
I'm doing this right now.
And she's going to walk up
Yeah, and
with
it's
another
like,
treat in her hand.
I mean, on all 6, right? Its head is as tall as yours.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not going to crouch down. I'm going straight up to it, and I'm just going to be talking to it, and maybe like, as my major action I guess it would be minor, but like, can I try and use my voice to heal it of like if it was at any point enchanted by anything to have just like
what attribute are you using for your heals? Presence? What's her other attribute? Her main one?
Presence would be, yes, what she's healing from.
No, just her. Is it alteration? What is
Alteration's her main one, yes.
it? Okay. Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll your presence.
okay.
And so your goal, what are you hoping to achieve by doing
My
doing
goal
this?
is to tame this enough that it would come with us.
Trust.
Yeah,
Okay.
trust or something of that nature. Because I see this swirling. We see this sort of like the nature of it of it's not just a wild animal. So I think it's kind of like getting it to trust us.
Well, you guys see that.
Yes.
I don't.
I just see the greatest act in the entire circus.
So I'm going to use a legend point for this because I
Okay.
really want this. So.
All right, so that's 1 legend point spent. There's 4 of you, so if you spend 8 legend points, you guys get to roll a d4 for something special.
Ayo.
Right.
Okay. So that means an extra d6, and I keep
Yes,
the top
you're
2.
spending it beforehand.
Yeah.
Declaring you're spending before. So the way that I'm going to work legend points is if you declare you're going to spend the legend point before you roll, you get to keep an extra dice as long as you have advantage.
Oh, okay.
and +1.
And the +1.
Boom.
So you get to keep all your dice.
Nice.
Okay. Helpful. 18.
18. Okay. And you rolled well before too. So you're kind of like trying to soothe it with your voice a little bit. You're coming forward though with a rope.
Yeah.
Its eyes kind of like shift a little bit towards the rope. And I'll say with the 18, you get the impression that it does not like the concept of the rope.
Yeah.
It's still like it only shifts for a second and then looks right back at the effect that's coming from Tats. But yeah, that's the impression you get right away. It's up to you what you do with that.
Okay. I think I'm going to say, no, it's all right. We can, okay. No, she's just going to put the rope down. And I think she realizes, like, if this thing is going to come with us, it's going to come out of its own free will or not. And so I'm going to say, Peter, come on up. Come and talk to our friend.
Okay.
quietly.
Peter's gonna like nonchalantly take the
Gently.
rope, stuff it in the backpack.
I love it.
But I think like maybe her next step is like she's just gonna continue to sort of gently and affectionately speak to the animal while Peter comes up, because she kind of wants it to like bond with Peter.
Okay, are you just talking to it, or are you trying to pet it?
Yeah,
You know,
no, I
since it's a
think
cat,
as
or
he
are
comes
you-
up, she's
Peter will
like,
take the
it's
top
all
hat
right.
and reach.
Oh my goodness.
to
So she's
towards
gonna
the
start petting
cat.
its neck, and she's gonna see the top hat come over, and she's gonna go like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so a couple things.
Oh my god.
Just for my own. Okay, so you're a sea elf.
Yes.
Yes, and you're
Human.
human.
I'm gonna go with human.
Human.
Yeah.
And you're no.
I'm a gnome.
Okay.
Can you even reach?
No, I
Did you?
can't.
Are you walking over with
Yeah,
Ulysses, or are
you-
you like climbing up onto my shoulder? Can I reach
I'm
out my
basically-
shovel?
I feel big, so I'm reaching up, but I'm still like only,
Yeah, 'cause
two and a
okay.
half feet off the ground,
Okay.
reaching up. I mean, if it's docile enough, I guess
Yeah.
Ulysses could pick up the hat and put it on the top of the kitty's head.
Okay, so as
she's-
you're petting it, there's the mouth kind of opens a little bit, and you can see the fangs, which instead of like the white ones, these are also midnight blue.
Oh my
in
goodness.
color. So you almost think they're black at first, but then you realize they're kind of a midnight blue, and they're darker at the root, I guess. Yeah, and then
Okay.
they lighten a little bit towards the tip.
Okay.
Is what you notice, and so you're kind of seeing as these very sharp looking
So
teeth.
can I roll for any information that I would have about sort of like the midnight blue indications of like
Sure.
in lore and legends, kind of the similar of what Peter rolled, but I feel like you're giving me some information that if I knew about it, I'd want to do something about it. So, learning?
Yes, typically
Okay.
that'd be learned. Do you have any perks that would help you?
No.
So
I mean, I'm attractive, so I
that
like
could help you in
calming.
this situation. So the
Or
other
it might,
thing,
or it might not. It might make you look like a really tasty morsel.
That's true.
So-
Depends on what define
so something to think
attractive.
about is you can bolster yourself
Yum.
and give yourself
Okay.
advantage too, right? So that's just you really concentrating to think.
And can I just be like, Willa's here to talk to you. Peter's here, and this is fine. And so I'm gonna roll to see if I know anything about it. 14.
And you rolled with two advantage from bolster and one advantage from
No, I didn't.
attractive. Now the thing that Tats notices about these teeth,
You just roll those.
You see, he said 2 advantage from.
so you have a
bolster.
total of 3 advantage.
Oh, okay. Okay, 13, 14, 15, 18.
Okay. Before I tell you anything,
Yeah.
what you notice about those teeth, you notice the same thing about the colors now that you're
What
closer.
Tats notices. for
The
our listeners.
large teeth, right, of
Yep.
the cat, the longer ones, you notice those also look like they're serrated,
Okay.
which is very different for a cat.
A
right?
cat, sure.
Right. The other teeth are a little bit more prominent too, and they look pretty sharp as well.
Okay.
Right. But the teeth that come from the top are actually serrated,
Wow.
which is very odd for a tooth.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a shark panther.
All right. So you're wanting to know if the midnight blue has any significance.
Yes, because you've told me that it has swirling,
swirling
midnight blue
eyes.
eyes and midnight blue teeth.
Yeah, this is definitely some sort of. I mean, obviously, it's not naturally occurring creature.
Right.
Probably, if it is, it's definitely from another plane of existence,
Okay.
for sure. I'm not sure with an 18, the midnight blue has any sort of significance that pops out to you. But what I will say with that roll, since that's also your presence that you're rolling, which is kind of related to luck, you feel like you might be able to communicate with such a creature mentally.
Ooh. Okay.
And I think what comes up is that sometimes when with a creature like this, if you lit it. What's a nice way to word this? If you freely give some of yourself to it, it'll let you be able to communicate with it rather than it taking it. So that could be like giving it a finger, giving it blood, giving it something like that.
A lock
like
of hair?
You're not with or hair, like, some part of you. Like some physical part of you. It could be as simple as just a few drops of blood, but you're not sure. You don't have the knowledge to know if that is enough, or if you have to give it like a whole hand, or right.
Okay.
But if you give it something of you, you can be able to communicate with it.
Okay.
That's the sense that you get with that.
Is
role.
it just me, or is it anyone who gives themselves part of it? They could communicate
and you
with it.
think anybody?
Okay. So I'm gonna be there petting it. You're gonna be. Peter is gonna be like approaching with the top hat, and I'm gonna be like, Peter, here's my multi-tool, and she's gonna like, and she's gonna have like her switchblade come out of the multi-tool, and I was like, cut yourself and put it on the hat, put the blood on the hat, and she's just like focusing, looking. She's not breaking eyes, like she's watching the animal, petting it, and she's like holding out her knife for Peter. Okay.
What are you talking about?
I think he could communicate with it.
I'm just gonna roll
He
logic
did.
on this.
He cut my legs.
What?
He communicated with violence. That's how he communicated.
Put your blood on the hat.
Why are you saying that?
Just
Lily, you're not making sense.
do it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to touch the sharp pointy things like that.
Peter, if you want to be part of the circus, you're going to put your blood on the hat.
Wow, that's not the kind of circus I thought my mom was gonna make, but okay.
So, and like as in its mouth, so that it can consume,
Okay.
not just like, oh, here's a bloody hat, right? So,
What are you trying to do?
while all this conversation is happening, Julie, what are you thinking, or what are you doing while all the rest of these people are doing all this conversation?
I would be watching body language of, the animal as well as my compatriots to see who is, everybody is tense in this situation, but I want to be able to jump into action if the cat shows any kind of sign of being more aggressive.
Okay, roll your perception. Sounds like it makes the most sense to me, but if you have another attribute you think would work,
I think perception makes sense.
In the meantime,
or if you have a perk, that could help.
in the meantime, I guess Peter will like reach out and like poke his finger on the tip of the multi-tool instead of actually grabbing it, because that seems a little bit dangerous. I'm like, well, if you decide to feed me to the wild beast, then I guess I'll be happy to do it. He'll put a little smear on the top hat and go ahead and put it in the cat's mouth.
Okay.
Yes.
I rolled a 7, but I can't find perception on here for.
It's under your mental.
The third one down.
Well, it's a little bit different on.
Oh, I see it. Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
Switched.
1, 2,
Oh.
8.
Because this might affect what you're about to do.
8.
8. Okay. So yeah, it's a pretty tense situation. There's a slight, like, it's not quite a full-on purr because you're kind of stroking it, right, a little bit, petting around the side of the face, maybe a soft purring. So there's a couple things that happen here, because I just rolled. You feel like your ability to keep it still.
I was gonna say
has it's not that it's like it was able to shake it off, but
Okay.
it hasn't chosen to like move afterwards.
Okay.
So you feel that happen, and it's kind of still looking at you a little bit.
The smoke's gonna come right back into my eyes.
Yeah.
And it's gonna come back, and I don't have it anymore.
When your eyes open, because your eyes were closed.
My
the whole
eyes were
time?
closed the whole time.
Yeah, when your eyes open, it winks at you.
Okay.
Crap. So you put the blood on the hat, and then put the hat in its mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. As you put it in its mouth, its tongue
This is so good.
reaches out and like licks the blood part.
Can you please amuse me terrifically by rolling percentiles on how tasty the blood is? This is relevant for another character.
How tasty
This
he
is
thinks the blood. Yeah,
relevant for
okay.
another character.
No, I've heard about this. I was told this story. So, well, that's interesting.
Tasty
'Cause if it-
Peter.
Because if it's a 0 on the digits, that makes
That's
it go up by 1, so it'd be 40%, right? Or would that just be 30%? I think that'd be 40%.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe that's just 30. So it's around there. So it was a 30 on the
40%
percentile
tasty.
and a
Yeah, it'd be 10.
and a 10 on the other one. So, but then you would never just have a flat 30 unless it counted as a 0.
No,
No, it would be
it's
0.
zero then.
You're right. It would
Yeah.
be just 0.
So it'd just be a
place.
30. So 30% tasty.
Okay, good. Good. I'm just gonna make a note of that.
for your blood.
Almost a third. Good for you.
On the Taylor Hay taste scale,
Yeah.
Peter's
well,
a 30.
But it's
Kind
also
of
going to
high
be
would
mixed with
be.
this odd hat. So maybe that's affecting the taste because it wasn't just the pure
Okay.
blood, right? So maybe that's not quite the full story. So, so yeah, you freely give some of your blood, and roll your will for me.
This has been another fantastical episode of the AV Epochs podcast, an Avenue Studios production. Do give us a review on your podcast app of choice to help spread the word. You can further support us and become a part of the ever-growing forest known as Avenue Studios by joining our Patreon or Locals community. Doing so will not only help us to continue creating high-quality content, but you will also gain access to bonus content and our private Discord, where you can chat with us, play games, watch movies, and so much more. Don't forget to check our podcast description for the music and ambience that we use, and thank you so very much for joining the adventure, and we will see you next time.